welcome to the Sanctuary, a safe space to speak from the heart. I'm your host, Israel, and my guest today is the founder of the Founders Runners Club, Team Tkachenko. Thank you so much for coming to the podcast today.
Thank you for hosting and for having me here.
Yeah,
And good morning.
we kind of cross path through a former guest of the show and through the Coalition Conference, and running something that they're passionate about, and said you got to meet him. So before we get into the Founders Runner Club, let's talk a little bit about you and your tech background, founders background.
I'm Tim. I started my career as a software engineer when I was IT manager. And I was working for a couple of startups. I really enjoyed this environment. And when I had a chance, when a few of my friends asked me if I want to join them as a tech co-founder, I was ready and jumped into startup scene. It was 4 years ago in 2020. We've started our first company. Last year, with the same co-founders, we've started our second company. While I was in San Francisco, an idea came to my mind to give back to startup and tech community. And I decided to combine two of my passions, networking and running. Out of the idea, was born the founders or just founders running club. We are recording it on July 15th, and tomorrow will be exactly 2 years since we've launched. Yeah. Very right moment.
Congrats. So let's even go back a little bit further. How did you get into tech itself? Like, what was your introduction to computers? How did you manage to fall in love with it, to not just use it as the consumer, to actually start building stuff that people will use on their computers and mobiles?
It's hard to tell. I guess I'll try to build like a story out of it. I'm not sure it will be like exactly how it happened, but I'll just try to I guess it will be like first time when I think like how I got into tech. So I had, in my childhood, a lot of kids, a lot of cool kids, they had game consoles. It was Nintendo, 8-bit, or then it was Sega, I think, like 16 bits, and the rest. And I never had the console. My parents, for some reason, decided to buy really crappy, like self-built computer. I don't know where did they get that? I don't think it was even like compatible with Intel processors. So it was very crappy computer, and you like everyone was like playing games. All of my friends were playing games okay, not everyone, of course, had a console, but a lot of my friends had consoles, and I was always jealous, and the only thing that I had was a computer, and I couldn't play this computer. So I think I started to do some things with the computer, and it was like programming. So there was almost zero books, zero information back then. There was no internet. I don't know if you can tell, like I'm pretty old guy, so I was like my childhood was in the very, very first years of the internet, and where I grew, like I think we got internet like in 10, 15 years after that. So
Wow.
I was just scraping some things, playing very simplistic games on this computer because it couldn't support any cool games. And yeah, I guess I was introduced to the computer and I had nothing to play with except like diving into some code. And then I remember that my first year in school, somehow we didn't have the subject like computer science, but on Saturdays we had like extra lesson, optional. So there was no one in the school on this day, except like one class who were like interested in computers, and I was there. So yeah, I remember that again, I think even our teacher, she just received like a couple of cool computers, much cooler compared to mine. Like they were IBM's something like, I don't know, 486 maybe. Like I had these drives, 5 inches drives, like very
The big
flexible
floppy,
ones.
yeah.
Yeah. So, and she had in her classroom, they had already like these much cooler, smaller drives, like 2.5 inches or 3.5 inches. Yeah. So they already had like you actually could play with computer, and you could do better. Like I think there was QBasic programming language, and not like self-made uh, um, systems which I had on my computer. So yeah, that was like my second touch, and it was inspiring for me. Like it, it was like a discovery, when we went to this classroom where I think we didn't have a full classroom of these computers. I think there was like one or two computers, and the rest were like old ones with the. It was not even like we were not monitors. We were like televisions that
Yeah.
you connected with. Yeah, to some kind of pieces of hardware, like built by some crazy people. Yeah, so yeah, and whenever you could touch this cool keyboard, again, it was much smaller, much better. I think it's still now it is the same form factor for the desktop. Like we basically current computers do not look too much different now
Yeah.
from these devices that I had chance to touch. It was I think 1991 or 1992. Yeah, and it was like for me, oh my god! So I was waiting for the Saturday to like
To get
just
to
to get to this classroom to see that, and like so our teacher, she was like, she like most of the time we didn't even touch the keyboard. We were like drawing something on with a chalk on the board, because she was like, yeah, today let's have a let's build a solution. Like there is a task. Let's decide. Like let's build algorithm and divide, like, I don't know, rotten fruits from non-rotten fruits. How would you
Oh,
approach it as an algorithm? And we were like, first we were discussing with words, like plain words, when we were uh, and we were like very small kids, like we were 6 or 7 years, and we were just trying to understand how to communicate with the computers. And then we were building like a schema, like here we do this action, then there is if else statements. So, and after that, we actually touched the keyboard and tried to build it as an algorithm. Yeah. Whew.
wow.
It, a long
So,
story.
I mean,
Sorry.
you started really early with programming, really, and that's kind of where that passion went. When you're talking about those computers, one game came to mind. Like, did you ever have Prince of Persia on the computer that you were working on that time? The game Prince of Persia.
I think I did have Prince of Persia, but
Yeah, I really love that game.
on my next computer, like in few
Oh,
years.
okay.
Yeah, on my
So,
first one, there was no games that you can like. We were
so
like blocks moving on the screen. That's it.
we did you, like, I guess, grow from there? I mean, you enjoy this thing. You're loving creating all this, conceptual ideas, building the schema, and then go on the computer to write the code. Like, you went forward to, university to study it, but I guess at what point did you decide to start building stuff that people could use versus just like, working at any other company?
um, I guess, yeah, like this first introduction to the computers, it was so like magical experience that I guess I always wanted to touch keyboard and to spend some time with the keyboard. And and I guess because of that, I was and because I went to this additional classroom on Saturdays. I think everyone had an option to go. Like it is free. It was free.
Mm.
So uh, and I remember that my granddad always told me from a very young age that you should do you should touch the computer as much as you can. So
Wow.
I don't know, maybe it's his influence, maybe it was influenced by the first experience, but I just always wanted to spend some time with a computer.
Mm.
And when I was just a little better compared to my class, like on average, there were kids who were much smarter, and they could do something with like they can build stuff easier, faster, more efficiently. But
Mm.
I was just a little better, and I think like how is it always like thinking, was that the decision I made, or it is somehow just that I was a little better than the teacher once or twice mentioned, hey Tim, it looks like that you are good in this field, so maybe put a little more effort into that. So I put a little more effort. I enjoyed the outcome. Then so when you get some appreciation for things you do, And I think it was like very slight edge in the beginning, and then it was like because I spent more time with the computer, I built more stuff. It gets easier and easier, and yeah, so it was very natural. I don't even think I was really like ever thinking, should I become a software engineer? Am I into tech? Like, it was not even like um, a decision I made. Like, I know that this is my major my major is gonna be. That I want to be a software engineer at some point, and that I'm interested in computer science just because it was very natural for me.
Yeah, that's great. So let's talk about the founders, your founder runner club. So you thought, okay, you love networking and you love running. Actually, before you get into the club, how did you get into running?
Yeah. So I moved to Amsterdam in 2018. And, like people do, back then it was not as popular as now. Like after COVID, I think the field of running just blew up. And now there is so many communities, different running clubs. Back then it was much smaller. I mean, it's not really a long time ago, but the running community has changed quite a lot since then. So I was working in a company in Amsterdam, and they just sent like a letter for everyone, like, "Hey, folks, if you'd like to run half marathon for free, we'll like sponsor it." And I was like, yeah, like people started to run races. Like my friends were running some races, and I was like, I always thought that I will try running at some point, but I always waited the time when I will grew a little more belly, or I thought that there is still no reason to run, and I needed like some kind of you know I was always thinking that, hey guys, yeah, I support you with your trainings, with your races, but I'm like myself, I need to have a reason to run. And I thought that when my body will start to change, I will dive into running. But actually the reason was just because like my company, they told, hey, there is an option to run for free.
Okay,
So
that's a good reason to start it. Was it difficult to just get into it? How slow did you start? And what pace are you at now?
is it you are in Canada, right?
Yeah,
Is it miles in
we
Canada
use
or
kilometers.
kilometers? Oh, nice, because I'm terrible in kilometers.
Yeah. It's only the US and I think England maybe that do miles. Yeah.
Yeah, they also do miles, and it's like I'm trying to convert miles into kilometers, because our community, like we have 5 locations in US, and we have one in London, so it's like 6 locations, like sizable part of our community do like they are into miles. So yeah, coming back to your question, what was the pace back then? I ran, I didn't know how to train properly, and I ran too fast. So now I run my slow runs slower than back then, and
Mhm.
and now I know how I
Pace
should.
yourself.
Yeah. So back then it was like 5 minutes per kilometer, 5:10 per kilometer. And the first race that I did was 5:15. It was a half marathon, and I did it with average pace around 5:15, I think.
Wow,
I
that's
need to
insane.
check.
So let's talk about the finding of the club. You know, you have your job in San Francisco. You love networking. How did you know? I guess what was the origin story of the Founder Runners Club, and yeah.
Um, the story is very simple. All my stories, like I feel that it's all luck and coincidence. Like
Mm,
that, I never. Back then, I didn't think of something like global community with a scale that we have now, with more than 9,000 people.
wow.
Uh, with like next week we'll be launching our 16th location in Helsinki, and in few weeks after that will be Budapest, then Stockholm, and every few weeks we are launching new location. Probably
Mm-hmm.
by the end of the year we'll have more than 20 altogether, and yeah. And we are only increasing the pace of the growth.
Holy
So
smokes. That
yeah,
is quick and fast, like because you mentioned six now, but you're looking 20 at the end of the year. So I know like this is your brainchild, but do you have a team behind you? How do you spring
yeah,
up these
yeah.
different
So
communities worldwide so fast?
let me get back to the question, like how it all started.
Yeah.
I was running because yeah, after my first race in Amsterdam, I actually felt that I need running to be a little more stable. I don't know, emotionally. And like how running works for me. It's when I run, it just builds some kind of there is no low lows when I run. So like you
Hmm.
still get very good moments in your life, and like your average emotional state is just much better. At least
Mm.
that's how it works for me.
Mm-hmm.
That's where was average, and then you just I don't know, and when you start running, and it improves a lot, and you um, it when you also don't have the moments when you feel like really terrible. So you still have lows, of course. It's life. Something happens. So yeah, I just felt that running is my thing back then.
Mm.
When I started to train for the first race, and I just continued to train after that, and when I increased the number of runs, when I had these goals, which some amateur runners do have, like 40 minutes per 10K, or 3 hours per marathon, or something like this. So uh, to run all the major marathons. I'm still working on that, but yeah, I hope that in few years I will end this journey as well.
Mm.
Um, so I I realized that I need to run a lot, and if I work more, I need to run more.
Ah.
And when I got into startup business, um, like it is it is more challenging than to work in a company from emotional standpoint, because you have so many things which do not work as you want. And it is, if you are a founder, it is because of you. So I guess maybe that's why we are also like growing with this space, because people need this community to be around people who can understand them, who know that it is quite a journey, and that yeah, you build something and it doesn't work, nobody needs it, or like, you know, like markets are crashing, and then you shutting down your company, and it was the thing that you build it for a couple of years, and you have nothing, and you don't even have like pension plan which you could build if you opted back then, like to work somewhere in like more stable environment. And I think that, so I started to run more, and in San Francisco, people always, at least my circle, people always discussed something like, what can we do for the community? And because there were some wonderful projects when there is like, I don't know, if you are a Web3 founder, there is co-working space for free. If you want to have like to have Burning Man experience in San Francisco, not only during the Burning Man, like some people created wonderful events a couple of times per year, and there is so many events in the city where you can go, where you can network, find someone who is incredible people. Like in San Francisco, you meet, I guess my so you know this imposter syndrome. It gets much worse in San Francisco because people are so clever, and almost everyone, you think that this girl or this guy, they are just on such level, they are so far in front of me in terms of like just the way they think, the way they talk, their projects we are discussing, and so yeah, but still, a lot of people all the time, at least in my community, we were like, what can we give back to this community? Because it is very encouraging to share and to give back as well. It is exclusive a little bit in terms of your imposter, like internally, because I always felt that I don't belong, that all these people are much smarter than me. But at the same time, everyone is open to share, to and to give back. And that was the thing that we were discussing a lot. And I was thinking while I was running in the park, I was thinking about the same topic, like what can I give back to the community? And yeah, I'm running and thinking about like what can it be, and I guess again it's not the idea that some clever person will come to. Yeah, it was again very natural, very simplistic thing for me to think of, that maybe Founders Running Club can be a thing which will be interesting for this community. So yeah, basically I made
Yeah.
MVP of that, and after a few runs I saw that it looks like that it's working.
So yeah, you have a team. How does it work? Like, do I have to be sorry, member to founder to join?
No, you don't have to be a founder. You don't have, like, you could be anyone. We do discuss startups more in this community, so it's natural. But and it was my surprise. Actually, I thought that if I called it Founders Running Club, only founders will show up. But from the first run, I think on the first run we had only 4 people, and one of them was a tech guy who was not a founder, and he was not even like thinking of starting something, but he just enjoyed the community. And then I realized that it's not only for founders, and we are quite, so everyone can join. All of our events are free, and it is we won't charge anything for being a part of this community ever. That's I don't know, my belief that it should be free and inclusive as possible. And I've realized that different groups of people they add a lot to the community as well. So like, for example, when someone who is a designer joins us, they are not even like into tech that much, but they when they join, like, I usually say that our community is for founders, investors, tech people, creative people, and people interested in startups in general, and their friends and families, and their pets as well. So, like, we are quite open, and we do have people with strollers. We have people with. Again, we usually run on Saturday morning, and it is like family time. So people bring their kids, people bring their husbands or wives or partners, and they we'd like people to enjoy, so we shouldn't gate them in any way. And all these different audiences, like different very they built the beautiful community, and when they talk, when they are together, I think out of that we get even more, like, even better results, because people are different and with different views, with the diverse community, we get just better outcomes, and people find better ideas, and they can help each other with their expertise even better. If there were only founders, I think we would be not as good and as valuable to our members.
versus it being more diverse. Yeah, because like everyone is kind of in the same pot versus people coming with different ideas, different backgrounds, things like that. Man,
Absolutely.
Tim, it's really interesting to chat with you and go through this journey of your experience, working with these different companies and now creating the Founders Running Club. I want to end it with this question though. If someone is watching or listening to this episode and they want to start a community, what advice would you have to share with them based on what you've learned over the 2 years of running Founders Running Club?
So first of all, if you'd like to start Founders Running Club community in your city, one advice: reach out, and we would like to be at least like in the future. We want to be global. We'd like to be in every major city with a vibrant tech and startup scene. So basically, every major city should have their Founders Running Club. So yeah, first, I think there are a lot of different projects, and some of them they just improve with the scale, and uh, we are definitely improving with the scale. So now people from like our community, we do travel a lot for work, for conferences. Like I was last week with my new venture, Squadefi. I was in Brussels at Ethereum community conference, for example. And unfortunately, we don't have Founders Running Club in Brussels. But when our community travels, they get their shoes with them and they run in our cities. They join our. So basically, we want that our community, wherever they go, if they want to run with like-minded people, they will be able to. And so yeah, this is my plug about Founders Running Club. Sorry about that.
No, no, that's
Um,
all good.
and for um, to people who want to start something new, I guess you should. I would just suggest one little thing that I did for Founders Running Club, and that worked. And actually, do approach a lot of different things with the same premise. Think of the community as a little startup and build MVPs, do experiments, and decide, like based on the results of the experiments. You never know what's gonna work, what won't work at all. And if you just approach building community building as a little startup, you won't put too much effort into building something that won't work, that people wouldn't care too much, and you will get the feedback very fast if you approach, like, have startup mindset and build your community as a startup. That's my 5
Well,
cents.
Tim, this has been amazing. Thank you so much. I know you have a lot on your plate, but I'll just end it with this. What's the best way for anyone to reach out to you if they do want to start a founders club in their city?
Find me on LinkedIn, Instagram. Yeah, basically find Founders Running Club. That's more important than me. And if you, just send a message anywhere on any platform where you find it, probably it will get to me, or maybe it will get to someone who will be in charge of the. Currently, it's me, but maybe at some point it will be someone else. So yeah, just find us, find Founders Running Club on any platform. Join us, try it out for yourself. You'll probably enjoy it. It is very fun community to be with, even if you are not into startups. If you are not into running, like, join us. Get this community feeling, and if you would like to start and to join us on our journey, yeah, reach out. We'll hopefully we'll meet in person, because I'm trying to visit all of our locations, and let's build it together.
Wow. Tim, thank you so much for the amazing work you've done, with your startups and of course the Founders Running Club. And thank you so much for coming to the sanctuary today.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.